Head over now to Cape Town, where Aisha Ismail, our reporter, is standing by. And we're just seeing those visuals coming in there. I'm not sure if Aisha can hear me, as the police have a scuffle with the refugees. Now, of course, those refugees include some with children, women, and, of course, refugees who've been at the park just next to the police station, who say that they are not willing to move. They're willing to be arrested because they have absolutely nowhere to go.
Yeah, okay. My phone is on 2%. Okay, so the law enforcement officers have just moved in, and as you can see, they've just arrested this man who was resisting when they tried to push them off the land. There are women and children crying, screaming, and as you can see, they're now moving this one person to the police station. But we're just going to turn around now so that you can see what's happening at the back of us. And as you can see, there are more law enforcement officers now confiscating the goods, some goods of the refugees that have now occupied this piece of land. People are very angry, people are upset, children are crying, and again, and I said this in previous crossings, that the refugees are saying they've been moved from Green Market Square, they've complied with a court order there, they have nowhere to go, and that is why they've come to occupy this piece of land until somebody is able to tell them where they are going to go. They say they do not have any money, they do not have any food, and that is why they are here on this piece of land, which they occupied late yesterday afternoon. They slept out in the open. They say their children have not eaten, they've not been able to bath, to have showers or anything. And at the end of the day, the bottom line is, where will they go? And they say that nobody in authority is able to tell them exactly where they are going to go and what's going to happen to them.
Do this to me when you come to my country, I treat you like respect. But we need to do it.
Aisha, I mean, we're seeing those scuffles happening between the police as well as the refugees. Where exactly are the refugees going to go now? Because it seems they're being also forcefully removed from where they are. Have you perhaps spoken to anyone as to where they will go next?
Well, that is a question that the refugees also want answered. They're saying that nobody in authority is able to tell them where they are going to go. Where must they go from here?
Papa, look the way you guys doing.
Well, as those visuals are coming in, Aisha, we're seeing their children crying, women crying, mothers obviously. This clearly is a traumatic experience for everyone involved. And I mean, we just also heard some of those chanting coming out of some of the refugees saying that, you know, South Africa is heartless for what is happening to them right now. Right now, I suppose the voice of, you know, the government or even any officials is perhaps needed, not only, you know, from the refugees, but just to know exactly then what is the standpoint. Have we heard from the city of Cape Town at this point? Have we heard from the UNHRC at this point regarding the visuals that we're seeing here now?
We haven't heard from anybody in authority. The only people that we've heard from and seen are the law enforcement officers and the Metropolitan Police representing the city of Cape Town. And of course they're here because they need to enforce the city bylaws as per the court order. But this has now gone beyond bylaws. This has now truly become a humanitarian crisis. This is a matter now for the South African Human Rights Commission, the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, and also an issue now for the Department of Social Development. There are children crying here. There are children that have not eaten for days. And so, as I said, this has now gone beyond violating municipal bylaws.
And we're also running with the breaking news, Aisha, that some Cape Town refugees have also been arrested. Can you confirm, how many, if ever, you've seen the number of people that were arrested on the ground?
Well, what we do know is that yesterday, when they went to seek refuge in St. Mary's Cathedral, 8 refugees were arrested, and they being held at the moment and will probably appear in court tomorrow. We've seen 2 people being arrested here on the field, and so that would be 8. But I'm just going to move out of shot because more people are being arrested, and as you can see, law enforcement officers busy pushing people off the field.
All right, Aisha, we're definitely seeing those visuals coming through as law enforcement is, of course, removing everyone from this particular park. Some of the refugees have their belongings, some have children. We've also seen mothers crying, and I suppose, it goes back to the question, where exactly will they go? Where can they go? And that is yet to still be answered. But, previously, Aisha, when we had a conversation, you were telling me how the refugees, or at least some of them, were saying that they are actually at this point willing to be arrested because indeed they have nowhere to go. They don't know what else to do, how else to garner the attention from international bodies such as the UNHRC. But clearly that is not the mandate of the law enforcement at this point. They don't intend in arresting everyone for the sake of just housing them in the police station. But of course those who do not want to listen or at least accept their instruction might have to face those consequences.
Well, how desperate must you be? How desperate must you be to actually want to be arrested and go to a jail or a South African prison? But as I say, the refugees are saying they would rather go to prison, they would rather go into a jail because at least they'll then have a roof over their heads, they'll have access to toilets, and they'll have access to water.
All right, Aisha Ismail, we'll have to leave it at there. Our reporter Aisha Ismail in Cape Town. Those visuals were coming in there of the law enforcement, of course, removing refugees from the park. This is a park close to the police station, and they were saying because they've absolutely nowhere to go at this stage after being removed from the Central Methodist Church, they're willing to be arrested, this being a desperate plea to say they have nowhere to go and they're even willing to be housed in jail.